Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 1, entitled The Curse upon the Yadu Dynasty. Today's text, number 4. So before I continue, I have some request. You have to switch off your mobile phones, but if you're not doing that, it should not ring. At least. And if you want to chant japa during class, you do it somewhere else. Some people have a habit of chanting japa during class, which is doing a disservice to both. You're not hearing the class, neither are you hearing your japa. So you do one activity. Okay? Thank you. Once again, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 1, entitled The Curse upon the Yadu Dynasty, text number 4. Naivanyata prabhavosya bhavet Katanchin Mat samshrayasya vibhavo nahanasya natyam Antakalim yadu Kulasya vidaya venu Stambasya vanimiva shantim upaimidama. Maharaj? Mataji's. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhu, you like to chant? Okay. The word for word. Na, not. Eva, certainly. Anyataha, from another cause. Paribhava, defeat. Asya, of this dynasty. Bhavat, there can be. Katanchit, by any means. Mat samshrayasya, which has fully taken shelter of me. Vibhava, with its power. Unahanasya, unrestricted. Nityam, always. Antaha, within. Kalim, a quarrel. Yadu Kulasya, the Yadu dynasty. Vidaya, inspiring. Venustambasya, of a clump of bamboo plants. Vanim, a fire. Eva, as. Shantim, peace. Upayami, I shall achieve. Dhamma, my eternal personal abode. Translation and purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Krishna thought, quote, no outside force could ever bring about the defeat of this family, the Yadu dynasty, whose members have always been fully surrendered to me and are unrestricted in their opulence. But if I inspire a quarrel within the dynasty, that quarrel will act just like a fire created from the friction of bamboo in a grove. And then I shall achieve my real purpose and return to my eternal abode. Unquote. In the purport. Even though Lord Krishna wanted to arrange for the disappearance of the members of the Yadu dynasty, he could not personally kill them as he had killed many demons, because the Yadu dynasty was his own family. One might ask why Lord Krishna did not arrange for them to be killed by others. Therefore it is stated in this verse, Naivan yataha paribhavosya bhavet katanchit. Because the Yadu dynasty was the Lord's own family, no one within the universe was capable of killing them, not even the demigods. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that no one within the universe was capable of even insulting. I'll read that again. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that no one within the universe was capable of even insulting the members of the Yadu dynasty, or to speak of defeating or killing them. The reason is given here by the words Mat Samshrayasya. The members of the Yadu dynasty had fully taken shelter of Krishna, and therefore they were always under the personal protection of the Lord. It is stated, Mare Krishna Rake Ke, Rake Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna protects someone, no one can kill him. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can save him. Krishna had originally requested all of his associates, along with the demigods, to appear on the earth to assist him in his pastimes. Now that his pastimes were coming to an end on this particular planet and would be transferred to another planet in another universe, Krishna wanted to remove all his associates from the earth so that in his absence they would not constitute a burden. Since the powerful Yadu dynasty, being the Lord's personal family and army, could not possibly be defeated by anyone, Krishna arranged an internal quarrel. Just as the wind in a bamboo forest sometimes rubs the bamboos together and creates a fire that consumes the entire forest. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has pointed out that ordinary people, hearing the adventures of the Yadu family, might think that the heroes of the Yadu dynasty are as worshipable as Krishna, or that they are independent controllers. In other words, people polluted by Mayavad philosophy might see the Yadu dynasty as being on the same level as Krishna. Therefore, to establish that even the most powerful living entity can never equal or surpass the Supreme Lord, Krishna arranged for the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. About 30 years ago, I was with several leading devotees here in this temple room, and amongst the other leading devotees was His Holiness Hare Krsna Goswami, who used to be one of the GBCs here also, governing body commissioners. So we came for darshan at 7:15, and then I was noticing that His Holiness Hare Krsna Goswami was standing for a long time next to Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. So next to him was standing His Holiness Giriraj Swami. And His Holiness Sridhar Swami was here at that time also. So I was happened to stand behind, and I could hear every word that was being spoken. So one of the senior devotees asked Hare Krsna Goswami, Guru Puja is about to start for Srila Prabhupada. Why are you still standing in front of Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman? He said that I'm offering some extra prayers, especially to the bow of Ramachandra and Lakshman, so that their bows can give me the strength, because today is the final hearing of a legal court case in the Supreme Court here in Mumbai. So that's when I got to know that the final hearing was about Srila Prabhupada's eldest son. He named him Mathura Mohan Dey. And I have met him a few times. He's late now. He's passed on. Yeah. His younger son is Vrindavan Chandra Dey, Srila Prabhupada's own family. Yeah. So one time I saw Mathura Mohan Dey coming to our Mayapur temple many years ago, about 35 years ago. So when you see Mathura Mohan Dey and you see his face, his face is the splitting image of our Srila Prabhupada. They look identical. And when I saw him in Mayapur 35 years ago, I was about to offer obeisance. I was like, Prabhupada, But I hesitated because we're not in a family lineage, so to speak. In that sense. We just offered pranams and others were speaking to him and so forth. So he put a case in the Supreme Court that all of the assets of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness belongs to him, because he is the eldest son of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the last hearing of that case was about 30 years ago, and the representative of ISKCON who knew how to fight was Hare Krsna Goswami. So he had to go to the Supreme Court. Yeah, in Mumbai. So at that time he was explaining that he was praying to the weapons of especially Lord Ramachandra and Lord Lakshman to help him to win this case. Like that. Now can you imagine? It's the same thing here. Krishna and the Yadu dynasty's own family members. When Krishna leaves, they will cause havoc. Same thing with Mathura Mohan Dey. Yeah. And he knew we had 650 acres of land in Mayapur. But the 650 acres of land in Mayapur is still cheaper in terms of real estate than this land in Mumbai, in Juhu. Although we have about 4 acres here. Yeah. This 4 acres, even if you sell it on real estate tomorrow, is still far more expensive than 650 acres in the countryside in Mayapur. So therefore he put the case in this Supreme Court in Mumbai. High Court. Somebody is supreme somewhere, somebody is high somewhere. High Court. Yeah. So Tamal Krishna Goswami went with the contingent of devotees, praying like anything that this is the final hearing and we can lose all our assets to the eldest son of Srila Prabhupada, who's claiming that he is the rightful heir to the assets of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And there were 4 favorable judges in the High Court. So they didn't put this in the public forum. They had it in their own chambers, outside of the public forum, to come to an understanding. Prior to that, before Srila Prabhupada could pass on from our midst in a way, in 1977, Srila Prabhupada formed the Bhakti Swami Charitable Trust. And from that charitable trust, money every month used to go for the members of his family, because they will not do this. But despite that, Gaur Mohandai did it. How many of you saw Gaur Mohandai? At least Mathura Mohandai. Anybody saw him? Is the splitting image of Prabhupada. You think this is another Prabhupada coming, the face. He's a little taller than Prabhupada, splitting image of the face. And he could not put the case any part of the world except in Bharata Bhumi, here in India. So Tamal Krishna Goswami knew that the case has to be settled today. So somehow they came up to an amicable settlement, and all the temples in India had to give an X amount for so many years to him. He settled for it. You know, our temples were all paying. Yeah. Not that big amount to take away this property. See? Not in that sense. So after it was settled, and the High Court judges were very favorable to us. They knew, what's really the situation here. So they did an out-of-court settlement into the judges' chambers. Yeah. So when Tamal Krishna Goswami came back to the temple, and he said, it is settled. We are not losing any properties. We are not losing our temples. It is settled, like that. So when he came back, we all gathered in Prabhupada's quarters upstairs, there, and he related what happened, like that. So after Mathura Mohandai, Prabhupada's eldest son, left the judge's chambers first, and he went outside in the corridors in the High Court. And he didn't go back, he was waiting for Tamal Krishna Goswami. But they were happy with the settlement. Tamal Krishna Goswami came into the corridor, and immediately Mathura Mohandai came to him, and they started speaking. And Tamal Krishna Goswami sort of even touched his feet that this is settled. We're not losing any ISKCON properties in India to him. It's settled, once and for all. So after graciously thanking Mathura Mohandai, Mathura Mohandai said, I want to tell you something. Like that. He said that my father, your A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, my father was like Kasyapa Muni. He knew the Srimad Bhagavatam like that. Prabhupada's son, he knew Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, my father was like Kasyapa Muni. But he gave birth to a son like Hiranyakashipu through Diti. You know, Diti and Diti. And he said, that's me. Shameless. Completely shameless. Using Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. A member of Prabhupada's family. And then he said something nicer, just to balance it nicely. He said, but your fathers from the West, and he's telling Tamal Krishna, he said, your father from the West was like a Hiranyakashipu. But he gave birth to a Prahlad, and that's you. Super intelligent, misusing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can imagine the same thing is happening here. That Krishna is winding up his manifest pastime some 5,000 years ago, but he knew that if he leaves his family members behind, they will be worshipped. They will be worshipped as good as him, and that's not correct. And therefore Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is quoted in the purport that you cannot worship an ordinary living entity as good as the Supreme Lord, and therefore Krishna arranged this like that. So after some time, I happened to be serving prasad to Tamal Krishna Goswami and Sridhar Swami and other devotees like Burijan Prabhu and Giriraj Swami together. So while I was serving them prasadam, I told Tamal Krishna Goswami, I have a question. I said, how did you manage to do this? Come to a settlement. It is a very difficult thing. And you are American. You are a foreigner. You know, in this land, you are a foreigner. How did you do it? He said, only one thing. Guru Nistha. One must have steady and firm faith in Srila Prabhupada. Nothing more. He just said that, Guru Nistha, firm faith in Srila Prabhupada. And then he told me something. He said, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that this International Society for Krishna Consciousness can be destroyed from within, but not from outside. See? So fortunately for us, Mathura Mohan De, Prabhupada's eldest son, he was not inside. He was outside. And then he also told me that those who are sort of firm in the resolve on the basis of position, power and politics within ISKCON, they can also destroy ISKCON from inside. Like that. Then I thought, why is he telling me this? Like that. Then later in the nectar of instruction in the preface, the first line, Srila Prabhupada says in the preface, that this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is personally supervised by Srila Rupa Goswami. Personally supervised by Srila Rupa Goswami. So Srila Rupa Goswami, if you take the word supervision, Srila Rupa Goswami means that he is watching over. He is watching over. He is caring for. Although he told me that statement that it can be destroyed from within, just by position, power, and politics. But when I read that because I teach that book many times also, and I realized this movement can never be destroyed from within. And in the purport, in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, like that, Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna has taken birth in the womb of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And anyone who dares to claim that they have, like sometimes, some devotee may say, I have given 40 years of my life. Like I joined 43 years ago. But I know in my old age it is uncertain. I know ISKCON will not take care of me. I know that because we're not geared for that. So I have to find out who's going to take care of me in my old age. I'm 65 years of age now. So I'm not going to depend on the movement. At the same time, we cannot leave the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I'm getting it. And over the 43 years that I have joined, I have seen that sometimes, somebody may be stuck in a position and they are able to destroy from within, but they become destroyed. Simply because this movement is being personally supervised by Srila Rupa Goswami, and you don't play with Srila Rupa Goswami. Can you imagine how much care and how much protection Srila Prabhupada has, even from the previous acharyas, especially Srila Rupa Goswami. And therefore he has given us especially his two books, Sri Upadeshamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which gives us such an amazing explanation of just the basic standard of pure devotional service, nothing substandard. See? So if you just go below substandard and not from the basic standard of pure devotional service from Sri Upadeshamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the nectar of devotion, then those people who bring it to the substandard will be destroyed. Because Srila Prabhupada is personally protected by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Srila Rupa Goswami is not a person that's, small. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. Say Mora Sampada. That is Rupa Goswami. Same Sri Rupa Manjari. They're very intimate to Srimati Radharani and Shyama Sundar or Rasa Bihari. So I'm just going to read something else about the graciousness and the, you could say, of Srila Prabhupada himself. Like that. Let's see where I'm going to get that from now. One disciple was very, you could say, was in great anxiety. And he was a very serious disciple and a very faithful follower of Srila Prabhupada. So he approached Srila Prabhupada and he told Srila Prabhupada, you know, Srila Prabhupada, you told us so many things to follow, and I'm doing all that. I'm doing all that. So then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, what did I ask you to do? Right. Then he said, Srila Prabhupada, you told us to stand 16 rounds of japa daily. You told us to follow the 4 regulative principles. You told us to only honor Krishna Prasad. That's not happening today with members of ISKCON. They eat in restaurants and other things, you know. Only honor Krishna Prasad. That means food cooked by devotees and food offered by devotees. 3 things. So far, chant minimum 16 rounds daily, follow the 4 regulative principles, only honor Krishna Prasad, and follow the full morning program. Which means, as part of it is japa and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which we're doing now. Everyone. There's no exception that, I'm from the congregation, it's a little different. No, everyone. Prabhupada actually said this in a tape in black and white. I have it on video in 1972 to a group of Afro-Americans who have African descent. He was preaching to them in New York City. And among them was, in the early years, His Holiness Bhakti Swami was sitting there, but as a student. He didn't join yet. You can see it in the video, like that. So one, you could say established, African-American person who was born in New York City, had a nice suit and tie and so forth. You can see this video, it's amazing. He said to Srila Prabhupada, Your Grace, I have a job, I go to an office, and I have a family, I have children also, but I cannot do what you are doing, like I cannot move into the temple and stay like how you are doing. How can I make progress in spiritual life? But I cannot stay in the temple. Yeah. Then Srila Prabhupada very simply said, you come to the temple and you learn what we are doing in the temple and you make your home a temple. That's all. It's not even grihasta. What to speak of talking about grihamedi. So Srila Prabhupada simply told him after they asked how he's going to do it. He said he can do it. You come and learn how we live in the temple and you make your home a temple. And he says that in a purport in the 13th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita also. Exactly what to do. So sometimes we may label that we are full-time devotees, and you may label somebody as part-time devotees because they're in the congregation. Prabhupada never made that distinction. Prabhupada said everyone is a devotee. Everyone? Yeah. Even those who are grihastas living in the congregation are also devotees. There's no question of full-time and part-time. And he says this in this tape, in this video. To American people, what to speak of Bharata Bhumi, born in India. Right. See? So to go a little higher than Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, you go a little higher. That's why Prabhupada made this statement when another disciple asked him, How can they live as we're living in the temple? He said, that is the standard. See? You have to go above being grihastha. And you have to go above being even a sannyasi. You have to be a devotee. No part-time, full-time, devotee for everyone. See? So when the grihastha, when the griha means home, right? When the griha becomes more and more sober-like, the members of the grihastha ashram, then it becomes a mandir. Man means consciousness, and dira means sober from even the effects of regulated sense gratification. You become, mandira means sober, place of sobriety, sober. That's what Prabhupada wants. And there's so many people are initiated, but what's the meaning of the initiation? When you're eating in outside restaurants with no onions and garlic, who's cooking? The cook also, he goes to bathroom, he doesn't know you don't know what's happening in the kitchen, right? Of the restaurant. Goes to bathroom, he comes back, doesn't take a shower, and you're eating that. It's contaminated. So as we are living in the ashram, you make your home a grihastha ashram. And from that you transcend to being grihastha, it becomes a mandir. And this is very traditionally based, even without being Krishna conscious, in the villages of Bharata Bhumi. It's still like that, even today. When you come to city, everything changes. Because city breeds competition and envy. But village, there's no fashion. Even your mobile phone doesn't work so well, which is fine. You'll be more peaceful. Prabhupada wants that. And when Prabhupada says that, this devotee I'm coming back to, he was worried that what if, he said, chant 16 rounds of japa, follow the 4 principles, only on a Krishna Prasad, which I emphasized on now, and follow the morning program. Prabhupada asked, what else? What else? Prabhupada said, and try your best to spread Krishna consciousness. Do as I am doing. Preach. That's the 5th one. Then the disciple told Srila Prabhupada, I'm doing all this. And I'm 6 years with you, Srila Prabhupada. This is 1975. He joined in 1969. I'm 6 years with you. I'm doing all this. But what if at the time of death I don't remember Krishna? I am worried. And it's a good anxiety. It's a good anxiety. That means he's so Krishna conscious to explain to Prabhupada that I may not be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. And Prabhupada smiled. He was so happy that this disciple is asking such a question, and he's in anxiety about it. He has stress about it. Yeah. Prabhupada said, what did I tell you to do? And he mentioned those 5 things again, right? Chant your 16 rounds of japa, follow the 4 regular principles, only on a Krishna Prasad, follow the morning program, and try to preach, bring new people to Krishna consciousness. And the best way to do it now, currently, in this season, is book distribution. Right? He mentioned the 5 things. He said, but Srila Prabhupada, still my question is there. What if I don't remember the time of Krishna at the time of death? Then Prabhupada asked him for the 3rd time, What did I ask you to do? And it's in so many letters Prabhupada says that too. What did I ask you to do? And he repeated the same 5 things. Then Prabhupada asked him, when did I ever tell you to remember Krishna at the time of death? I didn't give you that instruction. It's true. Prabhupada never said that. Then the disciple got a little smart, so to speak, in a nice way. He said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam. He's quoting verses. Prabhupada said, Krishna may say. Krishna may say. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give us practical Bhagavad Gita. So therefore I didn't give you this instruction that you must remember Krishna at the time of death. I only told you to do 5 things. Clear? Yeah. So when I heard this from this devotee, he was still in anxiety. Then Srila Prabhupada asked him, what is your anxiety? No, still Prabhupada. I may not remember Krishna at the time. He's holding on to that question. What will happen to me? Like that. Then Srila Prabhupada said, sometimes you use this word in a way that it makes another meaning. Srila Prabhupada said, that is not your lookout. That is not you don't have to worry about that. That is my responsibility, not yours. For you to remember Krishna at the time of death. Where will you get such an acharya? Even if you forget Krishna, Prabhupada will not allow that. Then I thought, there must be some evidence about this, And I study Prabhupada's books quite often, practically every day, like that. And I said, there must be, how can Srila Prabhupada go beyond Krishna's instruction, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam, so many other things, and say that he's going to take responsibility of your consciousness at the time of leaving his body, provided you do these 5 things. How is that? And I found the evidence in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's quite an evidence, actually. Yeah. I'll read it for you. And it's a purport to this verse, and it's a nice verse. I'll just read it for you. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 255, purport. And Prabhupada quotes in the purport. Gaurangere bhaktagane jane jane shakti dare. This is in the purport, not in the actual verse. And Prabhupada says, the purport of this song is that the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very powerful. And each and every one of them can deliver the whole world. And then I skip some words and I continue. One must follow the instructions of the spiritual master, those 5 things. Then one will certainly be delivered from all sinful reactions. This is the secret of success. Yasya deve para bhakti yata deve tata guru. If one has unflinching faith in Krishna and the spiritual master, the result is tasyaite katita hi artha pakashanta mahatmana. All the conclusions of the revealed scriptures will be open to such a person. A pure devotee of Krishna can make the same demands that Narada Muni is making. And he says, quote, if you follow my instructions, I shall take responsibility for your liberation. That's the proof from that verse and the purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That you simply follow these 5 things. Srila Prabhupada will personally take responsibility to take you back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada ki. And not only that, those who faithfully follow these 4 things, they can also assist you in connecting you to Srila Prabhupada to take you back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan, his followers. But these 5 things. So we in the Gotra, or the lineage of Prabhupada Nugas family, like that. And Srila Rupa Goswami is also called Prabhupada. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we are triply assured. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Triply assured. You have any questions or comments? Shri Prabhu, he has his hand up.
I thought of a couple of things. My mother had the mercy of being able to do, she was an attorney.
Can you hold it closer to
She
you?
was attorney for 64 years, and she got to do the legal work for Prabhupada, like write the book trust. And one person who was a GBC, she said, was always arguing with Prabhupada that everything should be centralized. And so he left the movement. He went to my mother and he said, I left the movement because I thought Prabhupada was wrong about not wanting to centralize everything.
Wait 1 second, let this sound go.
Helicopter.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can they increase the volume? Because his voice is soft. He's saying an important point that one devotee left the movement and then your mother helped Prabhupada to form the trust for the Bhakti and the book trust and other legal work.
She was the attorney that formed it. So he came to my mother and he said, I thought
You mean that devotee who left?
Yes, he said that I left because I thought Prabhupada was wrong about not wanting to centralize everything. And my mother said, no, that was the correct way to do it. She said, you should listen to your spiritual master and to the attorney because they both know more than you do.
Right.
So that shut him up quickly. And before she died, she was looking up in the corner and the caregiver said, look, someone's here. Who's here? My mother said, Prabhupada's here. Prabhupada saved me. And I had a dream similar to that Prabhupada was talking with some swamis. And all of a sudden he stopped them. He came over and he touched me on the head. And he says, don't worry, I'll always be in your mind. And I'll always be in your heart. And I will always be there for you.
Thank you very much.
After the 9 bells.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So then Prabhupada said, and don't worry, when you pass away, I will come to take you to be with me and Krishna in the spiritual world. So I thought that was a pretty wonderful dream to have.
And this Chaitanya Charitamrita purport confirms that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Anyone else have a question or comment? There's one hand up here and one in the back. Give the microphone here first. His hand went up first. Keep your hand up. Yeah. And then we'll pass the microphone to the back. Any of the Matajis, Vaishnavis have questions? Raise your hand. Anyone in the back? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Your name again?
Govind Kumar Das.
Govind Kumar Prabhu. Go ahead.
You very beautifully explained that how this movement is under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. And anybody who is following a substandard, he will be taken care in a way by Rupa Goswami.
If they improve, they'll stay. If they don't improve, they'll leave.
Yeah. So here in the purport, in the verse itself, we find the word Mad Samshrayasya. So those who have taken, Krishna is thinking that these yadus who have taken shelter of me, full shelter of me, they are not following a substandard. They are fully submitted themselves to me. So amongst them also quarrel can take place. So
That's called substandard. You understand the relation to Prabhupada in that? Yeah. So he created the quarrel, Krishna, so that he can wind up his entourage. And then it says there in the purport that he has to take his associates to another, you could say, Krishna Lila road show in another universe. That's what Krishna is doing. But if he leaves some of them behind, they'll be worshipped as good as them and they'll become God. That's Mayavad. That's Mayavad philosophy. So what's your actual question?
So how can we safeguard ourselves to not quarrel amongst ourselves?
It's very simple. It's very simple. You follow those 5 things. We said. Repeat them. It's good to repeat. You'll remind yourself. Repeat them.
Chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Follow the full morning program. Eat only Krishna Prasad. And preach Krishna consciousness.
Bring new people through book distribution, to distribution of the holy name, and through prasad distribution. Bring new people to become devotees. You just follow that. And if you follow that, nobody can take that away from you. Whether there's position, power, or politics, and somebody is a big devotee and somebody is small, everyone has to do that. You follow that and you'll be safe, and you'll be safe, and you'll be protected. See, Krishna consciousness, the process is simple, but not easy. It is simple, but not easy. But the person who's simply following those 5 things, then the process becomes easy. But if you don't follow those 5 things, then you won't see Krishna consciousness to follow as easy, because you're not simple to simply follow those 5 things. Whoever you may be, you can be an initiating guru, you can be a GBC member, you can be a temple president, you can be a department head, or Bhakta Deepak who's 2 weeks in the temple. All have to follow that. And those who didn't follow fell down. And the higher position you have, the lower you'll fall. You have to follow those 4 things. We have to maintain the purity of our consciousness collectively to take this movement forward. Not for now, for the next 9,500 years. That's how we have to see Prabhupada's mercy. For the next 9,500 years, more or less, like that, in the golden age in Kali Yuga. And make your life successful and go back home to Golok in this life. And if Krishna wants to send you back to take birth in the ISKCON movement, then you'll come back and continue for the next 200 years or 300 years. It's all right. Microphone there.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So,
Hare Krishna, what's your name?
Murlidhar Chandradas.
Murlidhar Chandra Prabhu. Okay.
So I guess I already got the answer from this only. The question was, Yadu dynasty was in like direct lineage of Lord Krishna, So why they are being called as burden? Why they are called as burden on this earth?
No, it's Krishna's responsibility for them not to become a burden. What I said, is it sinking in? It is Krishna's responsibility for the Yadu dynasty not to become a burden.
Because if they leave, then people worship them as good as Krishna. If they leave, like after Krishna, if they stay,
Like yesterday, His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami was saying in class, sometimes you are a guru, Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, initiating Guru or Shiksha Guru. And you have so many followers. And then one day you'll think you're God. Something like that. So the guru, he remains sober when he realizes he's not a guru. Others become drunk with that position of so-called service. See? So similarly, you may be Murlidhar.
Murlidhar Chandradas.
So you are like how many years in ISKCON?
As a full-time devotee from last 2 years.
No. Part-time, full-time. Everyone is devotee.
Last 5 years.
Don't insult the congregation. Oh, you're part-time. They're not. They're devotees. Sometimes they're more serious than you are living in the temple, Yes or no?
Yes.
How long are you practicing Krishna consciousness?
5 years.
5 years. Now you have some followers, right?
Yes.
He got caught. You want to increase the followers, right? You want to increase? How many followers do you have? 10, 20, 50, how many?
Not followers, I am helping them in growing Krishna
Oh,
consciousness.
you're changing. You're becoming purified. Good. Yes. You're becoming purified. Yes. You understand?
So in a same direction, I just have a
Hold it close.
in the same direction, I just have a question. Like Prabhupada, like when you mentioned that particular pastime in New York, when Prabhupada is saying that you just follow these things, all the other things, I'll take the responsibility of that. So, like in today's moment, other than Prabhupada, no one can claim this point. I'll take the responsibility because it's my understanding what I'm sharing. It's only the authority of Prabhupada only who can mention these things.
Prabhupada is not an authority. That's another problem. Authority. Top down. No affection. You follow. What is that? Prabhupada is a father. Prabhupada is a father. He may be found acharya in an institutional way, institution, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But if you carefully read his letters, maybe 4,000 some odd letters, you'll hardly get 30, 35, or you may say maximum 40 letters where he says, my dear disciple. Most of his letters he'll address, my dear Tamar Krishna, my dear Sudama Maharaj, like that. And in other letters, my dear sincere sons and daughters, my dear beloved sons and daughters. He's a father. For the sake of organizing the preaching, there may be an institution, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And you have to write down founder Acharya, because nobody must take his place. And people tried to do that, even in ISKCON, after he left. Founder Acharya, present Acharya, they had that on big boards. I joined at that time. Even today in some places they'll have a photo of Prabhupada, then they'll have a photo of the Guru in public. What happened to the other devotees? They worked so hard on the ground also. So you are right. You are correct. The root for us is Prabhupada.
Yeah, I got that answer. Thank you.
The root is not you because you already have followers. You're like a subsidiary root coming from the main. That's how this movement will continue for the next 9,500 some odd years. We have to keep that intact always. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So we will stop here. I think we have to stop. But there's some devotee has his hand up here. Can we? I think the management is in a meeting during Bhagavatam class. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj ji, you mentioned how Prabhupada spread the Krishna consciousness, but we see that Prabhupada could preach to the thousands and lakhs, but to his own family, they were not, as you told the story. So in that way, how we can consider, how we should see, or why was it like that? His own family was not so Krishna conscious.
To teach us two things. One is that we do not follow a family lineage of gurus. You got it? Yeah. We clear? And the other thing is that a Vaishnav sannyasi accepts the whole world as his family. Okay? And he accepts the sky as his roof and the arm as his pillow. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kori Vaishnav Vrind ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.